Propagating succulents. Actually, propagating succulents using just three things: pruning scissors, cocoa pellets, and succulent cuttings. Our cocoa pellets. They are made from coconuts. They come flat packed, so you need to hydrate them by placing them in a container with water, as you can see here. I do prefer them over using soil to propagate succulents, as they are easier to keep sufficiently moist without overwetting or over drying whilst the succulent is taking root. They also take up less space than planting in soil would. They are less messy, and they can easily be planted in soil later on without a problem once the succulents have rooted. Simply place them in water for 5 minutes and then they're ready to go. After we finish doing that here, I'll show you how to prune various succulents from my garden and then how to propagate them. And these are ready to go. First up, the leaf of life. This plant is from the Cilantro family and it has medicinal properties. My Caribbean customers swear by it, although you should do your own research. As you can see here, it's quite an easy plant to prune. You just snip either above or below a leaf node. These are Echeveria plants and come in all sorts of colours. They also look like a flower 24/7, and once a year you'll even get pretty little flowers that come sprouting out of a stalk. This is a Pachyphytum. Pachyphytums come in all sorts of colours like the Echeverias, however they're more leggy in general, and I personally think they look a little bit more alien. I'm cutting just above the leaf node, and this will determine how big the succulent cutting will be also. This is a renowned money plant, known to bring wealth and good fortune. What you see here is the most common variety, Crassula ovata, although they come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And I'm still working on my one bringing me money. Here is one of the smallest money plant varieties available. It's tiny. These guys, they spread out in any container you put them in, so they'll completely fill the container. And they go from lime green, as you see here, to a tomato red colour, depending on the sunlight and the time of year. And this is what they look like when they've spread out. This is a sedum. They grow in clumps around rocky areas, and I brought these guys back from my last trip to Italy. Which one of you guys is up next for the chopping? Ah yes, an Optunia cactus. This is Nikki, a beautiful wholesome plant in desperate need of losing some weight. However, you do have to be careful with these cactuses. They release these tiny little hairs when they think that they're being attacked into anything that brushes against them. So I'm doing my best here to avoid touching it even. Easy does it. Ouch! Oh, you can see they release hairs. This is what I mean. You have to be careful. When this happens, you have to pull them out as gently as you can and try and do it in the same direction that they were actually pushed in. You'll save yourself half a day of irritation. Sorry, Nikki, I didn't mean to say you need to lose weight. Introducing the moonstone succulent. This is also from the Pachyphytum family. This cutting comes ready with its own roots, so I'm carefully trying to pull it out so that all I have to do is really just plant it with its roots into the cocoa. Now before I move on to the next plant, this is a clearer picture of the moon succulent. Our next plant is a type of aloe. It's an aloe cristata. Did you know there's over 500 species of aloes? I'm actually on a mission myself to get all of them. This is another medicinal plant that's renowned, especially within the beauty industry. This is another type of aloe, Aloe gasteria. Gasteria in Latin means stomach. I have no idea why or what the connection is. The Corbo brutus succulent, also known as a pig-faced plant, previously featured in flower on my Insta page at Alex the Plant Guy. A Dudleya succulent, also known as a greens live forever plant, quite a prolific grower. This is another type of aloe from the Aloe Awafia family, known as the green gem. It gets colours between green and a deep red depending on the sunlight throughout the year. And as you can see here from this plant, it's got loads of little babies that have just grown from the root itself. So you can just pull them off, you're sort of peeling them away. Quite cool. Then find somewhere suitable and repot mama plant so she can grow out. This is a Crassula capitella. It's originally from South Africa, and I've had it growing as a bonsai succulent for like about 5 years. It's a brilliant plant. It's lived outdoors, indoors. It changes colour throughout the year. It either gets leggy or it grows quite compact depending on how much sunlight it gets as well. So you get quite a nice show with this plant. Finally, the Sedum palmeri. This is a brilliant plant. It's one of the hardiest succulents I've ever seen. It's lived indoors, outdoors, through drought, through rain. This plant flowers once a year. It can thrive in little care. It's a brilliant plant. All you have to do is take your cuttings and place firmly in the coco coir. That's it. It's that simple. They do make your life a hell of a lot easier. Of course, I could have used rooting hormone to help encourage with the rooting process, but I do find with coco coir it's not really required. They do root fast enough, about a week, 2 weeks. Now don't be lazy like I have over here and use a leaf when handling a cactus. Get yourself some proper gloves. You're asking for trouble when you use a leaf. I'm going to learn myself a lesson here. First time was Nikki's fault. This time it's my fault. Once you're finished, place these planted cuttings somewhere that gets natural light but not too much for the first week or two whilst they're rooting, and only water whenever the coco coir dries out. You could tell when it's dry because when it's wet it's dark brown and when it's dry it's light brown, so it should be easy enough to tell. Ah, it's finally finished. Now I just need to get the lid. So you get the lid and you have to gently just put it on top. You want to use the lid so it stops the insect eating the leaves. And I'm slowly finding out this lid is not going to fit. And I think I know the reason. Nikki. She's in the way again. The easiest thing to do in this case is cut Nikki down further. That way I'll also get more succulents in the end. And that's it, folks. That's how you propagate succulents. Thank you for watching. Do stay tuned. I hope to have more videos coming up soon. I can't believe it. Not again, Nikki. Anyway, this is what they look like a day later. As you can see, there is a loss of colour and slight wilting. That's because there's no roots to draw in more moisture. So you need to keep the coco coirs moist at this period until they start rooting, and then you cut down on the watering. This is 1 week later. As you can see, things are starting to develop. And just 2 weeks after planting the cuttings, you can see all the colours starting to come back. The leaves are actually starting to perk up as well, so there is roots starting to develop. They are starting to draw in moisture. I can cut down a little bit on the watering and start doing what's a little bit more normal watering wise for succulents. It's at this point you should start seeing roots develop. And finally, 1 month after taking the cuttings. As you can see, they're fully established and ready to go. So that's it, folks. Thank you for watching. Do tune in again for more exciting videos.